So hello, hi, greetings out to everyone there. My name is Omkar Bane. I am from SBM and MIMS Indo.
And I'm Akriti Jaiswal from School of Commerce NMIMS Indore.
Finally, for today podcast, we have with us founder and CEO of Health at Go. She had her education in Rishi Valley School and Ladies Freedom College for Women.
She was also the finalist for the Cartier Women's Initiative Award and had won the Cisco Youth Leadership Prize, which included a $25,000 grant towards Health at Go, which is her organization. She has also received Global Citizen Prize 2019 and Unilever Young Entrepreneurs Award. Not just this, she has also been listed in Forbes 30 under 30 due to the expansion of the organization she is heading, Health at Go. So we have Ms. Priya Prakash with us for the episode 3 of the podcast. Hello ma'am, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are all of you?
We are wonderful here. We're just going through the lectures and the campus and so on things, waiting for campus to reopen again.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast.
It's our pleasure to have you on board. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation and motivating us through your experience. That is for sure. That is the main idea of having this podcast. So before starting with the podcast, let me give a brief about the segments which we'll be going through in this podcast to our audience. So we have divided the whole podcast in 2 segments. The first segment will be talking about our guest journey, which is the second. It's basically about curiosity to know who is our guest and what is she good at, or maybe something which is quite personal to her. That is something is all about the curiosity poll. So let's begin with the first segment of the episode. Ma'am, it would be great if you can tell us something about Health at Go, your organization.
Sure. So Health at Go, as you already introduced, and as the name goes, is a health organization, and we work with children in schools across the country. So when I started the organization in 2016, I could see that there are a lot of health issues that are going on today in our country, and especially when you look at the kinds of death rates that are there in India, the number one cause of death is actually diseases like cancer, diabetes, heart disease. These are the common things that you hear. And in fact, most of the people who we know in our families also might be having some of these diseases like diabetes. It's become very common in India to have these concerns. Because of that, because of the impacts of these diseases coming on so early, for example, in India, type 2 diabetes is very common. It's something in children also, which is growing. Children today have hypertension. They have, of course, obesity, which is the root cause, is a huge concern. And I remember when I was younger and I was growing up in school, I myself, was quite overweight throughout my time in school. And that to my family was very normal, because I think in India, it's all about, that food culture, and at home we love to, eat a lot. And if you're living in a family with your grandparents and all, so then definitely you're, fed to the maximum level that is there. And no, blame on my family, but definitely I think they did not realize that if a child is putting on weight from such a young age, it can actually be a bad thing. Right? I think that's something that most Indian families don't realize, because at that young age, you feel like, let them do whatever they want. But unfortunately, as I grew older, I started putting on more and more weight. And that became very difficult for me to lose. I actually didn't know what to do about it. And because of that, there were many people around me in my class who started bullying me and calling me fat, calling me, you look so bad. And that had a huge impact on the way I saw myself, my self-esteem. My whole confidence level went down to 0, and I didn't know what I can do. Today, if any young child says, I'm not happy with my body, I want to lose weight, where do you go? What do you do? Right? There's nothing apart from Google or other sources. What do you look at? How do you help yourself? And I couldn't help myself. And so when I reached college, I realized that during my college days especially, and I'm sure that a lot of the college people are the ones who are going to be listening to this podcast.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so during my college days, I remember feeling so I was in a boarding school, in Rishi Valley, down south. Then I came to college, and in college in Delhi, I got exposed to social media was happening that time and all these things, and I started feeling like I don't look as good as other people. And I was, also I think city also matters. So your looks and everything become very important in college, and then there's a whole boy girl equation, and you want to look a certain way but you can't. You want to wear a certain kind of clothes but you can't. And so I went in the opposite direction. I actually, instead of overeating, I actually started eating very less. And I think that is not good also, right? I mean, I remember I was in the theater society and everything at that point. I had got into the dramatic society, and I used to do all these plays and all. But everyone there had such a bad lifestyle. Some of them, they used to, just the whole day, like, how theater people are, like they smoke a lot and then they do all these kinds of things, and then they don't even eat much. And I saw many girls around me, honestly, not eating that much. And I said, okay, maybe this is what I have to do. And I don't think that was the right call, because I lost weight. All I was thinking about is, okay, now if I eat one more bite, I'll put on weight. Now if I do this much extra, I'll put on again. And it was a very unhealthy mental state of mind. And that's when I realized that, I need to do something about this. I can't be like this my whole life. Why am I struggling so much? There has to be an easier way to be healthy, right? Isn't there an easier way? Isn't there a much more sustainable way? And that's when I found fitness, doing a lot of my own research, because still I would say there was nobody around me to help me, honestly. Like even my friends, or even who do I go to? Like who do I talk to about my health? My family is not at all health focused. Like they are pretty, like do whatever you want kind of family. So it was very like, where do I go? And these opinions that I had were very different from the opinions my family had or my friends had. If I wanted to get into fitness and all, I think in college you don't even think about that, because all you care about is, like you stay up late, you're out with your friends, you do this, that. I think we completely ignore that there's something called health. And I also completely ignored it, honestly. But during the end of my college, I realized, if mine was a 3-year thing, I realized that if this is not sustainable, I'm not feeling good at all about myself, I have to do something about it. And I think that is where a lot of things changed for me, like a lot of things, because I decided to join this, this coach, basically a fitness coach. And he told me that, if you have to come and do exercise and all these things, you have to wake up early in the morning, and then only you can come to my class. And I remember that time I used to sleep at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I used to wake up and I used to be late for college always. And, like no sense of discipline in my life, nothing at that point. But then I said, I have to commit to this. I have to do something going forward. So suddenly I started sleeping on time. I started having a routine. And my family honestly thought something is wrong with me. Like I was the opposite kind of person. And then I became the opposite kind of person. And they actually thought I was sneaking out in the morning to go somewhere and meet someone. Obviously, that's not true. I was actually going to the gym class. And and I'll tell you something else. Like when I went to the gym, I saw that there were a lot of women who were very strong. Like, those strong women that you see, they were doing push-ups and pull-ups and, lifting like heavy weights and everything. And I thought, how is this even possible? Because the only girls I saw were like really thin and, very weak and like not really strong. I also didn't feel very strong. When I went there, they gave me something to pick up from the floor. I thought, this is so heavy, I couldn't even do that. And that's when I started thinking that, can I be like those women? Can I be like those girls who are so strong? And earlier I used to be so obsessed about losing weight. But then I started thinking about, how can I become stronger? How can I become fitter? And there is a huge difference between losing weight and becoming fit. Huge difference. Because, for example, if you walk up some steps and you start like going like this, you might be the thinnest person on earth, but that means you're not fit. You're not even fit to walk up a flight of steps. You're not even fit to, today I tell both of you, let's say, go and run 1 kilometer. You might or might not, you have to think twice, like, am I going to end up, what am I going to do? I think Omkar is also like laughing on this one, because it's true. Like, sometimes our fitness level is just not there, and that means our body is not healthy. We can't even run a bit. And if you think about the way we are living right now during COVID, it's so important for us to have our health in order. And you really have to think about it. What are we doing for our body? It's very important, because everything else is based on that. So I changed my goal. I said I want to become fit. I don't care about being thin. I just want to become fit. And I think that is a huge mental difference that I had in myself. And I started working towards lifting like heavy weights. And these are the kinds of things that girls honestly don't do at all. And this is something that girls like shy away from. But I said I'm going to go and try to do this. And in 2017, actually, the end of 2017, I won a silver medal at the Delhi State Weightlifting Championship. And that was a huge moment for me, because I said, being someone who was overweight, who was never into any sports, if I could actually do this, it gave me so much self-confidence. It gave me so much strength within myself. And I knew that I had to help other people get to the same level as me, because I believe that all of us can be super healthy. All of us can feel strong and feel confident and never have to worry about our body or anything like that ever again. We can do that. But nobody has told us how to do that. When I was a child, nobody told me this is how to eat, this is how to exercise, this is how you are going to keep yourself. This is how you're going to keep yourself healthy. Nobody told me that. And I think that is a huge flaw right now that we have. That we talk about everything. We talk about maths, chemistry, physics, bio, geography, everything on planet Earth, but we never talk about our own health. And I knew that I want to go back and help children that are growing up right now. And I want to make sure that they have access to good health education, that they know how to take care of themselves, and they never have to struggle the way that I was struggling, and I had to do it all on my own. Like, till now, I do my own reading, my own research, my own everything. And I just feel that there's a huge lag in that. Like, why are more people not like the way I am? A lot of people say, oh, how do you maintain your health? How do you stay so healthy? Why is it like that? Why is it not that everybody is doing it? That's because there is a huge gap of information. There is why do people grow up and pay so much amount of money to nutritionists and trainers and all? Why to do that? When if you have that knowledge from day one, then you can take care of your own life. You don't have to depend on other people. You don't have to be confused. And for many of these things, I feel like there is a deliberate attempt to make sure that we don't have that information. For example, if you knew that chocolate is bad for you, if you really knew it, you would never go and buy it. If you knew that fast food is bad for you, and you really knew the reason why it's bad, you would never go and eat it. And the whole industry around us right now, nobody wants us to know the real truth. Because the moment we wake up to the truth, you will stop consuming these things the way you do right now, Because right now, nobody wants us to know, because there is no regulation for it. Because these companies are so big and so profitable that it's very, very difficult for any government to go against them. So right now, if you remember, in the world, there was a time when smoking, like tobacco and stuff, it was very common. People used to smoke in the movie theater. People used to smoke in the aeroplane. There were no regulations on smoking. And 30-40 years later, when people started getting lung cancer and when people started suffering, government said no. Now every cigarette packet, if you see, it has that picture on top of it. And you see when you go for a movie, you see those ads, that this person has so much tar in their lungs. You see all that, right? So there is still, now what's happening with this whole junk food industry and sugary drinks industry is that now people are realizing that people are getting diabetes, people are getting cancer. It's a very harmful thing. So as Health Set Go, we wanted to bring about this change in the mindset. And that's where I started the organization, that I want to make a difference in this. I worked with more than 250,000 children across India. We have also been working with the government. We've been working with policymakers to make sure that there are laws, actual laws and guidelines created, so that junk food is banned in schools, that there's a proper that the government is also backing on this. So this is the kind of work that we do, and this is the reason why I started the company. And we hope to, there's so much work to do, so this is just the beginning, I would say.
Definitely, that's wonderful. In fact, I completely agree with this, that from this childhood itself, if the mindset is set that what you need to eat, how you have to make sure that the health is fine and good, I think the cause of obesity or any other cause for any other diseases like cancer will get reduced by the end of the time, I feel. Absolutely, yeah. So that's a wonderful initiative. I feel that helping the roots to be better for future is the best way to nourish the coming generation. So that's wonderful. So moving ahead with the second question, that as we are all knowing that you were yourself one of the student or the child who were going through the obesity, or the overweight was the issue. So how did you manage to overcome the, not just the physical pressure which was there, definitely it was, but the mental pressure as well?
Truly believe that physical and mental go hand in hand. And when everybody was making fun of me and bullying me, I think honestly it really impacted me. It made me feel, like I told you, very insecure, very underconfident. But I realized that I had to deal with it somehow. So I started being that person who, if you make fun of someone, they laugh at themselves, like they start laughing at their own self. Like I became that kind of person. I used to just laugh it off, that it's okay. But it very greatly impacted me. And I think, and that's because I feel like there was never something that I was confident about myself in. I had nothing to feel confident about. I thought I look bad, I am bad, I am ugly, whatever. I never felt that sense of confidence in myself ever about anything. But when I started becoming healthier and when I started becoming stronger, I feel like that is the way I countered the mental side of things, because I started feeling so much better about myself. That was the first thing in my life, I would say, I felt confident about myself. And I always tell people, you have to find that one thing that you are confident about and let it be internal. Don't say I am a confident person because I have an iPhone, or I am a confident person because of something external. You should always have something you feel confident about within yourself, because no one can take that away from you. That is your source of confidence. And when I found that, I feel like I became a lot more confident in myself. But still, I would say there's so much impact that my childhood had on me. Still, I feel insecure sometimes. Still, I feel underconfident sometimes. And it's just how it is, I do try to work on myself every day. But I think that it's a work in progress, finding confidence in yourself, the mental side of things, like the physical, both are work in progress. You can't say at some day like, okay, I have done it, I have achieved it, and now I don't have to think about. It's not like that. It's a work in progress.